Can you talk a little bit about the strikes and the controversy around Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth?
I don't know anything about it. He said he did not say that, and I believe him.
So you don't know if there was
the second strike to kill the two men? He said he didn't do it. He said he never said it.
Would you be okay with that if he did?
He said he didn't do it, so I don't have to make that decision.
And as we speak right now, Pete Hegseth, Trump's hand-picked Secretary of Defense, is officially under federal investigation and facing a potential criminal referral for allegedly ordering a second strike on survivors in the Caribbean. Let that sink in. The same people who claim they're restoring law and order are the ones under investigation for what experts are calling a possible war crime. And yet their entire focus is deporting families who haven't done a thing wrong. It's hypocrisy at a historic level, and it is finally catching up to them.
Major breaking, Pete Hegseth is now under formal investigation for allegedly ordering a kill-them-all strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean. He now faces a possible criminal referral and loss of access to defense operations. And the scrutiny is coming from Republicans too. The House Armed Services Committee and its Senate counterpart have stepped in, with the House Chairman Mike Rogers demanding a full accounting of the operation, and hearings could begin within 2 weeks. Now, here's why this is escalating so fast. After the first missile destroyed the boat in the Caribbean, there were survivors clinging to the side, and allegedly a second strike was ordered that killed those survivors. Under U.S. and international law, those survivors were no longer combatants once the threat was gone. Ordering that second strike is considered a summary execution and a potential war crime. To me, it raises a disturbing question. Why would they want to kill people clinging to the side of the boat unless they were trying to get rid of witnesses? Because we already know they have no clue who these people are and whether they actually have drugs, and I'm afraid they got rid of them to just eliminate witnesses. I think it's likely the beginning of the end of Pete Hegseth's career. And face it, if you're ordering the killing of survivors, that's not combat, that's murder.
And the craziest part is that Trump is not only lashing out about Pete Hegseth. Last week, he insulted a woman reporter simply for asking why he keeps blaming Biden for the DC shooter, when the truth is, Trump himself approved that man's asylum in April. And now, only days later, he's lashing out again, this time because someone dared to ask why he suddenly pardoned a notorious drug trafficker. This is becoming a pattern. Ask Trump anything that threatens his narrative, anything that corners him with his own actions, and he snaps. Here, just watch this clip and see for yourself how fast he goes from, "I'm the strongest leader in history," to completely losing it over one simple, fair question.
Mr. Hegseth, so clear how you want to keep drugs out of the U.S. Can you explain more about why you can pardon a notorious drug trafficker?
Well, I don't know who you're talking about. Which
Juan Fernando.
Well, I was told, I was asked by Honduras, many of the people of Honduras, they said it was a Biden setup. I don't mean Biden, but Biden didn't do it a lot. But it was the people that surround the Resolute desk, surround Biden when he was there, which was about very little time. And the people of Honduras really thought he was set up, and it was a terrible thing. He was the president of the country, and they basically said he was a drug dealer because he was the president of the country. And they said it was a Biden administration setup. And I looked at the facts and I agreed with them.
What evidence did you share that he was set up and that he wasn't?
Well, you take a look. I mean, they could say that you take any country you want. If somebody sells drugs in that country, that doesn't mean you arrest the president and put him in jail for the rest of his life.
President, can I just clarify something that you have?
That includes this country, okay? To be honest, I mean, if somebody does something wrong, you put the president of the country in jail. They said it was a Biden setup. It was a Biden administration setup, and you have a big race going on this week, next week. I think it's going to be a very important race. It'll be interesting to see Honduras. That's what you're talking about, right?
Correct, yes.
In what universe is Trump even living anymore? 1 minute it's Biden's fault, the next minute it was a Biden setup, and somehow the corrupt, cartel-connected President Trump just pardoned is actually a victim in Trump's fantasy world. This is not politics. This is full-blown mental deterioration unfolding on camera. And the craziest part? Just last week, the Trump administration deported a 19-year-old girl, a college student, who was simply visiting her family from university, back to Honduras with zero hesitation. But this same administration turned around and pardoned a 45-year-old Honduran drug trafficker, a man convicted of moving serious weight across borders, and then immediately blamed Biden for letting criminals in. You see the pattern, right? I'm going to clearly show you how Trump's orbit is tied to drug trafficking, corruption, and the same criminal networks he pretends to fight. But before that, there's something even bigger. Because right now, Trump is preparing the groundwork to deport entire communities from third world countries, especially Somali immigrants. And he's not even hiding it anymore. He said it out loud. We don't want them no more. Here, watch this clip of Trump saying those exact words.
Plan to pause asylum into the U.S.
I think a long time.
Can you give any kind of time?
We don't want those people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
Is that a year, 2 years?
No time limit.
And then
But it could be a long time.
You said that
We don't want those people. Do you understand that?
I understand.
You understand it?
I understand.
Who
what
are
you're
you
saying.
with?
I'm with News Nation. So
Okay,
my
News
name's Libby
Nation.
D.
News Nation. Great.
Thank
Let
you.
me just tell you something. We don't want those people. Does that make sense? You know why we don't want them? Because many of them are no good, and they shouldn't be in our country.
What do you mean by those people? Can you clarify?
People from different countries that are not friendly to us, and countries that are out of control themselves. Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military, no police. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them.
How many countries, roughly, would you put on that list?
She said how many?
Yeah, how many countries, yeah, would you put on that list?
Well, I guess we gave you 19, right? And there's probably more than that.
Is that what you mean when you mean third world countries, those 19?
No, I don't think they're all third world, but in many cases they are third world. They're not good countries. They're very crime-ridden countries. They're countries that don't do a good job. They're countries that don't register from the standpoint of success. And we, frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do.
When you talk about
I'm
denaturalization,
talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother.
And what's hilarious is that the border czar, Tom Homan, is now openly confirming the same extremist plan Trump has been hinting at for weeks, that they will deport entire groups of people from so-called third world countries because, in his words, they are too hard to vet. This is the exact same playbook they use to justify separating families, banning refugees, and targeting communities who have lived here peacefully for decades. And now he's saying it out loud again.
Understand, in these third world nations, they don't have systems like we do. So a lot of these Afghanistans, when they did get here and get vetted, they had no identification at all. Not a single travel document, not one piece of identification. And we're going to count on the people that run Afghanistan, the Taliban, to provide us any information who the bad guys were or who the good guys are? Certainly not. And many people need to understand that most terrorists in this world, most of them, aren't in any database. Because unless they were found on a battlefield by DOD and did a retina scan and did some biometrics there, unless you're part of a T3 undercover investigation, we don't know who they are. So, and the same thing with illegal aliens, that over 10 million that came across the border in Joe Biden. There's no way to vet these people. You think El Salvador or Turkey or Sudan or any of these countries have the databases or system checks that we have? Do you think the government of China, Russia, Turkey, you think they're going to share that data with us even if they did have it? There's no way to clearly vet these people, 100% that they're safe to come in this country from these third world nations. President Trump's doing the right thing, reviewing every one of these people that came under the Biden administration and drilling down on them. I really, truly think that most of them are going to end up being deported because we're not going to be able to properly vet them.
It's not just that. They're even planning to deport people whose cases are still in pending asylum. Think about how insane that is. These are people who followed every rule, filed the paperwork, showed up to court dates, waited months or even years for a decision. And now the Trump regime wants to throw them out anyway. No hearings, no due process, nothing.
Will you deport people with pending asylum claims, Madam Secretary?
We will if they should be, absolutely. Yes, we are going to go through every single person that has a pending asylum claim, has an asylum claim here in this country. You know, one of the requirements of asylum is that you have to come in every single year for a checkup and an interview process and a revetting. And that is something that we're going to expedite and happen immediately with anyone who does have that asylum claim today. and ensure that they deserve to still be in this country, that they still have the purposes for which they claimed that asylum in place, and that they're not here being radicalized and perpetuating dangerous criminal activity against our Americans.
The craziest part is that this is the same administration that refuses to take accountability for anything. An administration falling apart behind the scenes, yet they are out here screaming about deporting anyone they can get their hands on. But while they're busy pointing fingers at refugees and asylum seekers, their own house is collapsing. And now they're creating another distraction, flooding the news cycle with this new mass deportation hype to bury the real story unfolding behind the scenes. They want you looking at buses at the border instead of looking at who's under federal investigation, who authorized illegal strikes overseas, who approved asylum for a man now accused of shooting 2 National Guardsmen, and who is scrambling to rewrite their own fingerprints off the Epstein files. But stay focused. Don't let the noise fool you. Because while they're chanting, "Deport, deport, deport," the cracks are getting wider. Everything is falling apart in real time. The scandals are stacking faster than they can hide them. So if you want the truth, not the distractions, not the spin, hit that subscribe button and stay locked in. We'll make sure you never miss a single headline they're terrified for you to see.